Welcome to R&R's Ask the Expert. I'm your host, Myldred Ingram, R&R's Editor-in-Chief, and today I'm joined by special guest Lori Jones, founding member at Bio-Sheen Services. Lori is the winner of R&R's 2024 Women in Restoration Award, which is our annual award recognizing leading women in the restoration industry. This is the award's 9th year, and Lori rose to the top of a very impressive list of nominees. All the nominees are reviewed by a panel of judges based on journey, experience in the industry, job growth, future reach, industry and community involvement, as well as awards and certifications. Lori, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So I believe you're the first within your field of restoration to win this award. And I know the audience is curious to know what I'm talking about. So let's start with your role at Bio-Sheen Services. What are your high-level objectives and day-to-day responsibilities?
Well, first things, when the phone rings, everything goes live. It's very important to us at the moment that we are free to have our conversation with our client that is on the phone with us, because that client is the center of our universe. No one calls because they're having a good day. So while it is important to be a good listener, it is even more important to be very polite and very caring and obtain as much critical incident data that we can to also show care, compassion, and concern for our client. The critical incident data at its minimum consists of the who, what, where, when, and how questions related to the incident. It allows my team to be better prepared for our response physically, mentally, and even spiritually. Everything from the moment of the departure to the final debrief of the forensic restoration decontamination project is done with the prime objective in mind, and which is safety. Safety for my team of forensic operators and safety for our client. The day-to-day, as everybody very well knows, we always make sure our files are completed. We actually file them in the proper places, and we pay the bills. We make sure our bio boxes are picked up, and we make sure that the truck is decontaminated, stocked up, and ready for our next call. Bio-Sheen, we are a biorisk management and decontamination specialist. We also specialize in remediation and homicide, suicide, accidental, natural, and unattended death sites, as well as incident sites that have been contaminated from infectious diseases, opioids like fentanyl and carfentanil, and biological weapons that may be used by terrorist nations or rogue nations.
Would you be able to share your impressive list of certifications and awards with us?
Of course. I am a certified forensic operator, a certified bioforensic restoration specialist, a high-risk, high-level decontamination specialist. I am a master trainer for the Microbial Warrior International Training and Certification Program, and I have a background as a certified tracker, certified search and rescue, and a certified crime scene track investigator.
Such an impressive list of your background. Is just amazing. So how did you end up where you are today? Like, what was your path to restoration, and just as you're coming through it right now?
Well, first and foremost, my husband. He actually introduced me into the restoration field. I started working for his family doing rug repairs, and then I became a master rug cleaner while working for Sanisheen. And then Jeff introduced me into the forensic restoration field that I have now, that I've been fascinated with and love to help people. I just didn't know how much of a difference I would make until I started working with him.
Okay. And so within that field, or within that sector of restoration, what would you consider to be your specialty?
My specialty is actually the detailed forensic cleaning. I'm also willing to listen to the client if they need to talk. I have good ears to listen.
Mhm.
Uh, one of the first lessons I learned early was what we do, it's a ministry. And that was emphasized by Jeff's father, Joe B. Jones. And also checking on my teammates to make sure that they're okay. And they're always a high priority to me also.
And so what aspect of your work do you really enjoy the most?
Um, I love the fact that when we are done with a project, the client asks, wow, how did you do that? And of course, my response is, well, that's what we do. It's always an honor to work for them.
Okay. So I know this is probably tough, but what about maybe a specific project? Is there maybe a most memorable project that stands out in your mind?
Every one of them are very special, and some stand out in my mind and hold special places in my heart. But because of the very sensitive nature of our work and our client confidentiality, I'm going to keep those tucked away in a very special place in my heart.
Yeah, yeah, I figured that would be tough. It's not really one to
Yeah.
be able to just kind of chat about that.
Yeah.
So, on to the topic of growth, which is such a critical aspect of the Women in Restoration Award. Seems like BioSheen's motto is there's no higher purpose than service to others. How does that kind of resonate with you in your day to day?
The services that we offer fill a very specialized and personal need that our client needs. So that is truly an honor to work for them. We really do live by this quote. There is no higher purpose than service to others.
So, much of what we talked about has been, like leadership. So, and as much as growth, really. So, how would you describe your leadership style?
I've always gravitated to the leadership style of soft but firm approach. I
Mhm.
make sure I get my point across and that they understand the direction that I want. But if they don't understand, I'll reiterate my instructions and ensure that I do guide them into the direction that are going to keep them safe and do it correctly.
So, you are the winner of the Women in Restoration Award, as mentioned before. And so, I must ask, what has it been like navigating this industry that's predominantly was male dominated?
Well, first and foremost, I am a field operator.
Hmm.
But once all of our PPE is donned, um, what bathroom you go to is really has little bearing on the capability of forensic restoration and decontamination work.
Right.
So you either possess the knowledge and skill sets or you don't. So some of the best forensic cleaners have been in the field were women because they are very detail oriented. And I'm not saying men aren't either, but I am a woman and that's how I feel. Oriented.
So, what advice would you have for other women and maybe underrepresented individuals looking to advance in restoration as you have?
Show up with a positive attitude, willing to work, sometimes outside the box. And
Mhm.
if you do make a mistake, learn from it and move on.
Okay.
Get the best training, do your research because not all training is the same.
Absolutely. And so, as we near the end of the interview, I am curious, what would you say the biggest career related lesson you've learned up to this point is?
Never stop learning. Things are always changing and there's challenges being created to keep up for us to keep up with. So just never stop learning.
And then, what are your go to resources for inspiration and education? Are you like a podcast listener or like mentors or like books or?
Actually, my husband, Jeff, he and we will sit around and I'll pick his brain
Mhm.
for inspiration or education, because he might have read something that I hadn't. But we bounce things off of each other and encourage each other to do so. He finds a book or an article and we read it together and we keep so that we can keep up with the scientific world.
Mhm.
What's the latest outbreak? How is it spreading and how can we stop it? Again, never, ever stop learning. Always a student.
Absolutely. Last but not least, can you share maybe a little bit about yourself, like outside of work? Or what do you like to do in your free time?
I always say this, laughing is my favorite sport. I love to laugh. So Jeff, he makes me laugh a lot. We love to travel and I love to read and keep my mind active. and I enjoy spending time with my family and my friends. They are my world.
So what kind of books do you like to read?
Oh, I love murder mysteries and
Mhm.
um, the ones that make you think. I've got several authors that I like to listen to, and I won't bore you with them all, but there is an in-depth series that I think is very intriguing, and it's based out of New York in the 2028 year. So
Mhm.
it was made a few years back, but it's in the future.
Totally futuristic.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Well, Lori, thank you so much for your time and insight, and congratulations again on being the winner of the 2024 R&R Women in Restoration Award. Before we go, where can our listeners connect with you or learn more about BioSheen Services?
You can either go to our website at biosheenservices.com or microbialwarrior.com, or you can contact us directly. Our office number is 405-608-2900.
Okay. And thank you. Listeners and viewers, you can learn more about Lori, our first and second runner-ups in the April 2024 R&R e-magazine, and exclusively for the month of April, our print magazine, as well as on our website. Please keep your eyes open and your ears peeled for nominations to reopen for next year's Women in Restoration Award, the second half of 2024. And for more insights on restoration, remediation, and the people behind it all, visit our website, rnrmagonline.com. We're on Apple or Spotify. And if you haven't yet, be sure to follow us and, keep up with our latest episodes and give us a quick review and rating. We're also on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook, so we invite you to follow us there too. This has been R&R's Exit Expert. Thank you for listening.